Alright, welcome to this mod called Prehistoric Fauna, a mod that's been around for almost 10 years now. And recently, after their latest update, the mod suddenly gained more users than it's ever had before. After who knows how many years of development, it's pretty incredible. And honestly, it's a really interesting mod that we're going to be covering today. This mod is basically about dinosaurs collecting fossils and entering a new dimension where these dinosaurs appear after traveling back in time. And obviously there'll be lots of research, lots of exploration, and it's definitely a mod worth checking out. Since it's been around so long, a lot of people kind of overlook it or just pass it by. But I think honestly it's a really good mod. So how do we get it? Well, first of all, we'll head over to Prehistoric Fauna. As you can see here, it has 660,000 users. It came out 7 years ago. We'll go to files, and as we see here, we have this latest update they made from 1.16.5 to 1.20.1, one of the best decisions they could have made. Because as you can see from the user count, all the users came after the last update, which came out last year. We'll click these three dots and get file. And this file, well, it's available for Forge and NeoForge. We'll save this file in Windows plus R, app data, then go to roaming Minecraft. And in the mods folder, this is where we're going to save Prehistoric Fauna. If we go to relations, we'll see that it doesn't have any dependencies, which is pretty surprising that it doesn't depend on GeckoLib or anything like that. I guess maybe since it's such an old mod. Well, back in the day, maybe there weren't as many libraries, or you just had to create everything yourself from scratch. I don't know exactly how it works, but I figure that's probably why. So anyway, with this, we'd have the mod and we could start playing. Alright, how does the geological hammer work? The geological hammer. Well, this tool is essential for safe excavation, and it's crafted by combining 4 iron and 1 leather. So what's it used for? Well, it's used to obtain fossils, and as you can see, we can use it to break fossil blocks and extract the different fossils from them. Also, if we have skeletons, any skeleton, for example, a Stegosaurus, we'll place it, and you'll see that if we right-click, we can change its pose, and if we crouch and right-click, we can push the skeleton. We can rotate it, which will make it face our position, okay, after a moment, or we can leave it neutral, okay? This way, we can better decorate our museum or wherever we display our skeletons, all right? So these are the uses of the geological hammer, and as you know, it's an essential tool. All right, so here we have the paleontology table. Basically, how does it work? Well, if we look at the crafting recipe, we'll see it needs any type of plank, an iron ingot, any fossil from the prehistoric fauna mod, and 1 leather. And what's it used for? Well, it's used to clean our fossils. As you can see, we can take the fossils that we find as we explore and discover different fossils out there. And from this, we're going to be getting, as you see, different dinosaur parts. As you can see, they're giving us skulls. They can also give us petrified wood, and there it is, fossils or fossilized bones. Also, as you can see, there are all kinds of fossils, okay? They all use fossilized bones, so they all have that in common, even though some are from the Jurassic, others from the Triassic, the Cretaceous. Well, they all more or less use the same thing. Important question. Can you attach a hopper to this thing? Well, yes, you actually can. I mention this because if the space fills up, as we see, we won't be able to clean more fossils if we have a lot, which really could happen or not, since it's a bit tricky. Later on, we'll get into how we can obtain fossils. So how exactly can we find fossils in Minecraft or prehistoric fauna? These fossils are essential for the paleontology table, where we can get skulls, fossilized bones, and use them to build skeletons or, well, create our own museum, whatever we feel like doing. So how can we find these fossils? First, you need to know they generate naturally in surface caves and in certain dimensions. Cretaceous fossils appear as chalk blocks. Triassic and Jurassic blocks are found in sandstone variants. And then we have siltstone, which is shale, for prehistoric ones. It's important to mine these fossils with a geological hammer, okay? Because if we break them without it, we won't get what we're looking for. and it's not complicated. Right here in this biome, which is clearly modified by the mod, well, maybe not that much, but at least we're surrounded by mod changes with different trees and stuff. I think it modifies the whole world. I'm heading down a bit now, and as you can see, we've already got fossils here. There's even more fossils over here, sandstone fossils. We've already found 2 types. We're still missing the chalk one. So yeah, you can be sure you'll find these fossils without any major problems, okay? It's true that I'm not seeing the chalk one anywhere, and the other 2 are super common. I don't know if it's rarer or if it just appears in another dimension. I have no idea, alright? And as an extra tip, the biome doesn't matter, you can search for them anywhere. And that's about it. Hey, there you have it. Alright, how does skeleton assembly work? To create a museum exhibit, we need to gather cleaned pieces. For this, we'll need a skull and fossilized bones. You get these by using the paleontology table to process the fossils we've collected with the geological hammer. The truth is, all skeletons work pretty much the same way. For example, with this skeleton here, we get the skull and fossilized bones. Then just come over here, right-click, and we can place our fossil without any problem. Then with the geological hammer, we can crouch, interact, and push the fossil, interact to make it rotate and face us, okay? After a bit of time, it takes a moment, there it is. Leave it neutral, change its pose, attacking mode, running mode. Look, there it's about to attack, see? So there we have it. Alright, so let me introduce you to the boss HENOS, a boss with 300 health that has its own structure within the Prehistoric Fauna mod. I don't know how rare this structure is. The cool thing is I found it naturally, meaning I didn't use any locate command or anything. Looks like there's another structure here, right? Let's see, teleport. Oh, wait, no, yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? Oh no, the chunk just updated, okay. Well, it looks like this, alright? It's a very, very unique structure called the Time Temple, which we can find using /locate structure, let's see, Time Temple, okay? And theoretically, it has an entrance, which I'm guessing is this entrance here. And if we head up, we'll find HENOS. Alright, we've got this incredible friend here. We've got quite a few chests here. Let's check out the loot. Golden apples, a super enchanted apple. Oh man, so they're welcoming you to hell, right? I'm seeing that. And in the other room. Oh, okay. And well, we can go up, but I'm not seeing very well where we can climb. Over here, we can go up and welcome our buddy HENOS. And alright, when we get closer, as you see, that's when the movement starts. I don't know if he can get down from the structure. I hope not. Well, I hoped wrong, okay? And there we can start hitting him. Theoretically, there he is. He stuns us. He stuns us with the shield. We can shoot him with arrows. They take quite a bit of health, and he also gets stuck, okay? I understand that. Let's see, I get that the point is to have it up here, right? And not take advantage there of different tricks or anything. But hey, right now he's not throwing any lightning at me. He also has the healing ability, and as you see, if we go with the... Well, I'm full netherite, by the way. Watch out there. There, he healed himself, huh? Did you see that? There, he healed himself, huh? I'm going full netherite and feeling pretty comfortable. Whoa. There was the lightning strike. We just didn't see it. The shader's blocking the view. Look, let me turn on the shader. Nothing, the shader's hiding it. Alright, I'm going to turn off the shaders, okay? Okay, well, keep that in mind too. Oh, and when he does the lightning, what? I can't attack him. Keep that in mind. His physical hits don't do much damage, but that lightning doesn't look very fun, huh? Let's see how much damage the lightning does. Whoa, that lightning hits hard. And he heals too, man. He heals, man. I don't really get how to cancel the healing. I don't think you can. So just tank and tank the damage. Maybe you gotta hit him here on the green part. No, just chip away his health and that's it. So yeah, he's a tough boss, but not impossible, right? You're seeing there are plenty of ways to get him and stuff. As you can see, once we beat him, he'll drop the time gem. And that's how we can get the time gem without any trouble. Very good. How can we craft time totem? Well, as you can see, there are three types of totems in the Prehistoric Fauna mod. The Triassic totem, the Jurassic totem, and the Cretaceous totem. As you can see, we simply combine a time gem, which the boss HENOS drops in the Temple of Time when we defeat him, with a fossil, either Triassic, Jurassic, or Cretaceous. And what are these for? Well, these items will allow us to access a new dimension through the time machine frames. Alright, how do we craft the time machine frame and get the time portal working? Well, first of all, the time machine frame is obtained from gemstone. It's a drop from the HENOS boss itself, but we'll also find it inside the structure. Here we have a bit of genostone. Out here we also have plenty of gemstone on these walls. Inside there might not be as much. Wait, never mind. Here's more gemstone. It's pretty spread out throughout the whole structure. I guess it's designed to be farmed. Look, here we get some genostone blocks and stuff. Also, I'm not sure if gemstone can be obtained any other way. And this item with a clock in the center makes the time machine frame. So if we want to enter a dimension, whether Triassic, Jurassic, or Cretaceous, we'll grab the time machine frame and start filling it in. And it's at least 3 by 3, okay? So we're going to need to place at least 12 blocks, and then we grab the Triassic totem if we want to go to the Triassic, the Jurassic one, or the Cretaceous one. All right. In survival, you need a pickaxe to break this, okay? A stone pickaxe. We had to break the block, place it back, and fill it again. So yeah, that's how simple it is to make the time portal and travel to another dimension. And now we'd simply cross through and take a trip back in time. There it is. There it is. Welcome now for real to the Triassic. Alright, so let me introduce you to the HERRERASAURUS. It's a dinosaur from the Triassic period. This dinosaur here is supposedly an aggressive predator, though it doesn't seem to be attacking me right away. But if we hit it, okay, it will come after us. So it's not aggressive, but neutral. When you defeat it, as you can see, it drops its meat. If we eat this meat raw, it'll give us hunger, but if we mix it in a bowl or cook it, we'll have edible food. Also, we can breed them to have babies. To do that, we need to feed them HERRERASAURUS meat. Pretty complicated name. Okay, it's this creature here that gives us... There it is, it gives us... It's hard to read, man. The Ark of Soromor. Sorry for reading like that, but it's just... I mean, you try reading it. And so we just right click, and as you can see, we breed them, and from there comes, where is it? A little egg they're about to lay, all right? And so this, oh look, there's the egg, okay? As you can see, there can be up to 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs, okay? And just with this mob alone, we've outdone the last 20 Minecraft updates, just with this mob, right? But luckily, it doesn't end here. Alright, so the dinosaur I'm going to talk about now is the ISCHIGUALASTIA. It appears in the Triassic and is a herbivorous synapsid. It's tammable and we can equip it with a saddle. I put the saddle on it and tried to mount it, and basically to control and direct its movement, we need to craft and hold a Cladophlebis stick. Let's see, there it is. I wonder if I can feed it Cladophlebis. Yep, we can feed it this. So there you go. And so with a Cladophlebis stick, okay, I get it. It's one of these plants. Look, there it is, Cladophlebis. So we can steer it, but we can't make it go faster. I don't know if it's because of the shield. No, you can't speed it up. We just move really slowly. But what? You're going to tell me that's not cool, huh? Well, there you have it. Plus, it'll follow us if we're holding this item or if we're carrying Cladophlebis. Alright, let me introduce you to the EXAEROTODON, or rather EXAEROTODON, okay? It's a cynodont, a four-legged creature and ancestor of mammals, and it basically appears in the Triassic period. It's nocturnal, so during the day, it'll sleep deeply. Well, you can see it right there, can't you? Just lying around. If we get too close, yeah, it does wake up, and there's not much info about it. Basically, if we defeat it, it'll drop its hide, which we can use to make regular leather and synapsid leather, alright? And with that, we've covered the Triassic. Does that mean the Triassic only has these animals? No, it has way more. And I'm sure I've skipped tons of super interesting animals, but I can't cover every animal in the mod, as you can imagine. I mean, look how many there are. Like, it's just... No, they wouldn't fit in a single video. So let me give you a quick intro so you understand roughly how the main mechanics of these biomes work. But look, Here we've got a SAUROSUCHUS we haven't covered yet. Well, not just one, a whole bunch. And there's tons of new trees and fauna. I don't know if there'll be big caves in these dimensions. No, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, come here already farmed up, yeah? And that's it with this. We've got the Jurassic covered. Alright, so we're finally in the Jurassic period and we've got the Stegosaurus here. Basically, this creature here lives in, well, like I already said, in the Jurassic, and it's a giant herbivore. Basically, if we defeat it, what it's going to drop... Oh, it has 80 health, by the way. And if we manage to defeat it, what it's going to give us is thyroforan, which is food. And if we cook it, it gives us 4 drumsticks and 6.5 saturation. And it'll also drop the thagomizer, which we can use to make a banner pattern or to make the thagomizer pickaxe. Not much else, really. The thagomizer is the spikes on its tail, by the way. And fun fact, it feeds on these pine cones that appear throughout the Jurassic in the tree canopy. Here I'll also show you, since we're here and we just found the Jurassic, a bit of the cave generation. As you can see, it's a bit weird. It almost looks like it generates in waves. What I'd recommend is that, well, the caves in these biomes aren't too interesting, honestly. Even though they're pretty big, they don't seem to have great minerals and they end abruptly. So once again, same advice as before. Come already farmed up, come with good armor and ready to go, so you won't have to worry about this stuff. So yeah, that covers the Stegosaurus. Alright, so we have the Allosaurus here. This predator is from the Jurassic period. It's extremely hostile and hunts Stegosauruses. Here, for example, we have a Stegosaurus. Let's see if the Allosaurus will get motivated. As you can see, it has 60 health. I don't see it very motivated, eh? Maybe it's not hungry, I don't know. If we defeat it, okay? Since it's a theropod, what we'll be getting is theropod meat, okay? Theropod, there it is. Theropod, if we try to feed it, the animal is full. Okay, that's probably why the Stegosaurus isn't attacking us, because it's already there. Also, as you can see, it has these eggs, which I assume if we could feed it, it would be making them. This skull and this skeleton, okay? Pretty interesting and pretty cool. So yeah, there we have it. Alright, let me introduce you to probably the biggest dinosaur we've seen so far, the CAMARASAURUS. With this dinosaur, we're going to say goodbye to the Jurassic dimension. Obviously, there are many other dinosaurs in the Jurassic dimension, and basically this is a sauropod. Basically, due to its huge size, it's passive, but hard to take down. When you defeat it, it'll drop sauropod meat, since that's the type of creature it is, and it actively feeds on Tylophyllum, Brachyphyllum, Araucaria leaves. Maybe it eats these, huh? Brachyphyllum. Let me see if there are any more. But right now I don't see it. Brachyphyllum. I don't know, maybe there's another biome, huh? But at the moment, I don't see any other biome. Look, here we have another creature. For example, the Dilophosaurus, huh? Pretty cool, actually. Whoa, what a frame drop. Okay, I think it's the Brachyphyllum, huh? What it eats. So yeah, there we have it. As you can see from far away, it looks huge, huh? So it's pretty intimidating. Alright, here's another legendary dinosaur, the Triceratops. Okay, so this dinosaur here, once we tame it, we can put a saddle on it. Right now it looks like I can't. I think I need to get on top of him and convince him to let me stay. I know it's tricky. Plus, once we've tamed it, we can equip it with chests to carry items, not just the saddle, and turn it into a cargo tank. In theory, if you defeat it, it'll drop horns, which are useful for crafting armor. Well, honestly, as you can see, this is getting tough, huh? I don't know if there's any food that might change his mind. Let's try the horsetail. Horsetail, you don't like it? This one neither. There's gotta be something, because it lets me right-click, but I have no clue which one, and there don't seem to be many plants too. I'll keep trying. And there we go, I got it. Yes, sir. We equip the saddle, and there, as you see, I can ride it. Let's check the chests, see if I can put chests on him. There it is, right-click, and I've added chests, and as you see, it has a bit of space. Not a whole lot, though, huh? I mean, it's not crazy or anything. Theoretically, it has something in the inventory. I don't know what it is. No, well, it's bugged. I don't know what it is, but it's bugged. And there you have it. Here's the Triceratops, all right? I think the horn is this one, the ceratopsian horn, which can make us the Ankylosaurus helmet, okay? And that's about it. I don't think it's really worth it. 3 armor, well, nothing special. So there we have it, the Triceratops, folks. Worth noting that, well, this is the skull, this is the head, which is bigger than the T-Rex. And then the skeleton, I assume, will be smaller, right? Yeah, a bit smaller. So there you have it. All right. So here we have the Ankylosaurus with 80 health and 5 armor. It's a heavy herbivore that defends itself by striking with its tail. The animations are honestly pretty incredible. And if we defeat it, I'm telling you, it's a pretty tough creature, mainly because of that 5 armor. It'll drop these Ankylosaurus osteoderms, which are used to craft, for example, the Ankylosaurus helmet, along with the ceratopsian horn from the Triceratops. Plus, it gives us this food, which, as we know, when cooked, will give us quite a bit of saturation. Also, we can get the tail club as part of its drop, which can be used as a blunt weapon, and has the passive ability to dig up tubers from the ground. That's the dinosaur, right? The tail club does 6.5 plus 0.5 attack damage. I don't know if it'll have any effect, and doesn't look like it. Doesn't seem to do anything. So yeah, it's not exactly an incredible weapon here, but hey, there it is. I don't really get why the items it adds are kind of, like they fall behind. Look, here we've got a Pinacosaurus that looks pretty similar, huh? Pretty cool, huh? Honestly, there with all the babies and everything. Plus, it's really cool that so many spawn. I mean, 8 or 9 spawning gives it so much more life, like it's a family, So yeah, there we have it. Alright, let me introduce you to the SINOSAUROPTERYX. This is a tiny, very small feathered carnivore. It's from the Yixian formation, and it's tameable. How do you tame it? Well, by using ephedra berries, okay? Ephedra berries basically come from this plant called ephedra, which, as you can see, has these orange tones and such. And so if we grab an ephedra berry and feed it to the SINOSAUROPTERYX, well, as you can see there, for example, I was able to tame it without any problem. Plus it has this mechanic where if we're sleeping in bed, it'll bring us gifts. I don't know what kind of gifts, whether they're dinosaur related or not. I assume they are, but I'm not really sure which ones. Look, here we have an oviraptor. So yeah, that's how the SINOSAUROPTERYX works. Alright, so how do we defeat the corrupted theropod? That's a secret boss sleeping inside these ruins. The ruins are called, by the way, to find them, Yixian Ruined Settlement, okay? And the mod, besides adding different types of dinosaurs and stuff, also adds this Yixian part where, well, I guess the creator wanted to put in a bit of his own mark and custom mobs. This spawns in the Cretaceous, and it's not easy to find, eh? I don't think so, honestly. A city patty just spawned here. But anyway, let me show you a bit. Wait, what's this? A Lioningosaurus. Well, a turtle. So basically it spawns in this structure here. And it's funny because it spawns right at the entrance. Meaning you can just walk by and the guy stays asleep, There's tons of fossils. By the way, ancient paintings. We haven't seen the paintings. Wow, these are really cool. Super cool, right? The ancient paintings. Let's see if I get another dinosaur one. Whoa, look. Look at this Triceratops. Whoa. Really cool, honestly. So we've got this creature here. The corrupted theropod has 300 health. Sorry. It's a lethal hybrid undead. Let's see what they mean by lethal, okay? I'm going in with a super enchanted golden apple. My buddy wakes up there. Just waking up gave me slowness. It took a heart from me. Oh, it just grabbed me. Okay, a bit lethal. Yeah, maybe it is a bit lethal, huh? But it's hitting me from over there. Hold on, I'm going to turn off shaders real quick in case I'm missing something. So as you can see, it can chase us slowly. We can attack it with arrows, and we take off quite a bit of health with arrows. So I think you can take it down with arrows. But let's see what that was. Like, what was that? He attacks with his tail, and those extra ticks are the bleeding. Well, watch out. Be careful if you're close to... Wow, he hits hard, but it's like I'm taking the hits with delay, right? It's a bit weird, more than weird, a bit awkward. The animations don't fully show. Hey, the arrows kind of go wherever they want, right? But anyway, as you can see, we can bring down his health. I recommend you go with arrows, okay? Because look at the damage it does, man. Look how hard this guy hits. And of course, the problem is if there are more dinosaurs nearby, So, well, let's finish bringing down his health, because I want to show you what he drops too. I'm telling you, the bosses in this mod aren't very complicated, which I think is cool. I mean, you can die, but they're not super hard, and he'll be dropping the Cretaceous key fragment, okay? Super, super important, since it's a high-value item that right now I understand is for lore, okay? Meaning it'll be useful for future purposes and stuff, but right now it doesn't serve much use. So there we have it. Alright, so here we have the DAKOTARAPTOR. Basically, it appears in the Cretaceous and is a giant lethal version of the raptor family. It's a nocturnal creature, so it'll be attacking at dusk, though right now I'm seeing that it's kind of awake. I think it's trying to sleep, but since I'm nearby, look, there it is. It goes to sleep, but since I was really, really close, it kept waking up. See, if I get close, they go on alert. Actually, there's also a little Easter egg. Let me check it. If you give it a name tag, Amen, or Aman, as we're seeing on screen, it'll have, well, we'll remove its feathers. I don't really understand this reference. Don't know if it's from some movie or, but anyway, there it is. Poor thing, honestly, I feel bad for it. I assume if we change it now, it gets its feathers back, right? There it is, there it is. So yeah, there we have it. It can lay eggs, okay? It doesn't really specify what kind of food it eats, but we can assume that if it eats me, it's going to eat pretty much any kind of food. It's not attacking me though, huh? And I figure that's because it's daytime, but it doesn't run away either. It just wakes up and that's it. Well, there we have it. All right, so here we have the Velociraptor. This one lives in the Cretaceous period. Well, as you can see, super tiny, right? And that's actually how they are in reality. They move around while sleeping, huh? This is incredible. Also, I've been checking, and there are these domestic beetles too. I've got a few spawning around here. Pretty funny. Anyway, back to the Velociraptor. We can tame it by feeding it small meat from this marginocephalian here. Okay, so we can tame it with this meat. They won't come near me, but hey, we can feed them, and as you see now, it's mine. It'll follow me. Plus, it's a pet, supposedly one of the most agile pets in the mod. Here we have another dinosaur, the Udinoceratops. So anyway, if you're wondering if it'll attack those creatures we attack, let's test it out. Oh no, this one's mine. Oh my god, there's a bug that crashes the game every time I interact with one of these things. I don't get. So yeah, not much more I can say. I'll leave the Velociraptor here. All right. And finally, to wrap up the mod, I'd like to explain one last thing that's not really part of the mod itself, okay? So, just so you know, there are tons of foods, tons of fish we haven't seen, tons of dinosaurs, I mean tons, you know. Seriously, tons of plants that are really worth it. It's a mod that, honestly, in my opinion, doesn't get enough support for the massive amount of content and potential it has. But anyway, and basically I wanted to show you one last part, which is how to use genetic paleontology in this mod. And the thing is, this mod, as you can see, doesn't have any way to extract DNA from bones or with lab machines like we've seen with other mods like Unusual Prehistory, for example, and others. So the creator himself, for some reason, decided to make it an add-on, meaning a separate mod 3 years ago, and created Prehistoric Revival, okay? So basically what this does is create a cultivator, okay? This is the item, okay? Well, it's called an extractor, and this extracts the DNA. The cultivator is on the right, okay? And well, basically in the extractor, we'd put the skulls here, okay? We'd extract the DNA, and then with the DNA, we'd simply cultivate the mob, get the egg, and the egg just works like a turtle egg. We place it, and from there they grow. I don't really get why he didn't put it in the mod itself and made it an add-on, but this is the last function, so that covers the mod. And yeah, from here I want to wish the creator the best of luck, keep developing, and much success, because it looks really good, really good. I mean, seriously, this is a mod that adds 3 dimensions, 3 very polished dimensions. It's true I'm missing all the cave stuff and everything, but as far as dinosaurs go, I love it. And highly recommended. The only downside I'd mention is you probably need a pretty powerful computer, because just look at all this decoration, all these plants and all this diversity of models and blocks here, you know? But honestly, I think if instead of adding, because this is way too much cave, the caves don't add anything, you could actually just take all the cave blocks and remove them. because all they do is create lag when generating the world without adding any value. Nobody's going to use the caves in this mod, so either or you make the mod's caves actually interesting, one or the other. But everything else is incredible, right? Seriously, I highly recommend it, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed and see you in future videos. Bye bye. Alright, so here we have, yes indeed, the dinosaur. The most iconic dinosaur that we could, probably that everyone knows, which is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Where does it appear? Well, basically it appears in the Cretaceous, this dinosaur here, and it's extremely dangerous. If for whatever reason we defeat it, okay? It has 100 health. Not that much health really, but it does look like it hits hard, huh? Let's see. I'm going full netherite to see how much it hits me for. It does 3.5 per bite and attacks at a speed of 1 hit per second. Well, it's going to be giving us theropod meat, but it can also give us, or there's a chance it'll drop its tooth. And its tooth, what's it good for? To make a tyrannosaur tooth sword, which is a weapon almost as powerful as as diamond, or so they say. Let's try to grab, for example, a pig, and let's see if this weapon works on it. Let's apply bleeding, and yeah, I had a feeling we'd be applying bleeding. Bleeding doesn't work magic either, okay? I mean, it takes away like 1.5 hearts more, okay? Or 1 more heart, but anyway, there it is. Look, 1.5 hearts is what remains. That's what the mob takes. Let me see if bleeding stacks. If I hit it several times, if I can apply more bleeding and it doesn't have nothing, it doesn't stack. So yeah, well, there we have that sword, which really with the bleeding, let's be honest, if your sword does 6.5 plus 1.5 from bleeding, it does 8 total, it just takes longer. So, which is better? A sword that effectively does 8 or a sword that does 8 directly? Well, we'd have to think about it. If we're fighting maybe against a mob that has armor, I understand that bleeding bypasses armor and therefore you'll definitely take away that 1.5 hearts. But if you go with your sword straight to 8 damage against a guy with armor, well, that extra 1.5 hearts of damage will have armor applied to it and effects applied too. So each sword has its pros and cons. The downside of bleeding is you have to wait 3 seconds for all the bleeding damage to apply, right? Which goes pretty hard against Minecraft PvP. And since the bleeding isn't that strong either, obviously the margin that 1.5 hearts gives you is really small. If it took away much more, then yeah, that would change things. So yeah, there you have it. Oh, I haven't mentioned it, but this is the head and this is the skeleton. I mean, incredible, honestly. Well. Let me introduce you to the SAUROSUCHUS. It's an apex predator from the Triassic period. This gigantic carnivore we're looking at right now will attack the player on sight. I mean, I don't feel threatened, honestly. Well, okay, if it gets this close, if it comes at me like that, maybe a little bit, huh? Look how it opens its mouth, huh? Look at how you open your mouth. It doesn't even know anything. Look. Whoa, and what did it just do to me? Oh, and on top of that, if it bites you, it'll give you a bleeding effect. So keep that in mind. It'll drain our health over time. And well, to feed it, to raise it, we'll have to feed it synapsid meat. What are synapsids? Well, they're basically the ancestors of mammals. Basically, any creature we see moving on all fours that drops meat will probably work to feed it. In this case, I think that one's full and this one too. So yeah, important, sorry. When we defeat it, it's going to drop archosauromorph meat, which I don't know if we can give to other mobs. Yes, we can give it to them, okay. So basically, this guy eats everything.